Oh, hi.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. We were talking about something else. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Do you
Um,
currently have multiple revenue streams, not including a day job?
no, but I want to.
Uh-oh, less than half.
Yes, I do. Not that a day job isn't a great revenue stream,
No.
but we are kind of in a bit of a recession right now, so I thought that this would be a good topic to cover. We're going to be talking about multiple revenue streams today, guys, and then I'm going to share all of mine. The reason that I decided to choose this as our topic this week is because a couple weeks ago I made an Instagram carousel, and it has been my most popular post on Instagram of all time. Apparently everybody really liked it. It got more saves and more hearts and more engagement than any of my other Instagram posts. So that's how you use your analytics for good, guys. Make sure that you go back into some of your analytics on social media and use that as a good leverage point, because if you see that something's doing well, you can take that content and you can kind of try to do the same thing with it and spice it up in different ways. So Instagram post is now turning into a nice long Friday Bean episode, and we're going to add some more stuff to it because we've got a couple more ideas for additional revenue streams that I didn't cover on Instagram. Not to mention, it gives you guys the opportunity to ask us questions. But welcome to the Friday Bean. If you're new here, we did have a lot of subscribers because we did a video on Tuesday covering 10 Etsy SEO mistakes. If you haven't watched that video, I definitely would recommend it, because every few years I try to update like the different mistakes that we commonly see, and we always have new alphas who join the channel and are hanging out for the first time, so we figured it would be a good refresher topic.
Let's see, Raina said it's questionable as to whether the recession has officially started or not. And then Dulcie says, I feel like we've been in a recession longer than this recession. This is just recession level 2. I mean, semantics aside, we're in the suck right now. So until the suck starts to not be the suck, then it is what it is.
It's the suck, guys.
It's the suck right now.
Yeah.
Everything's expensive. We get it. It's expensive for everybody.
Yeah, so there is a poll at the top of the chat. We'll disable that in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
We always try to give everyone a few minutes to get online since the YouTube notifications aren't the best. But yeah, I think that multiple revenue streams are something that not enough businesses talk about, because you always see businesses that are really, they're really big, and you look at them and you're like, oh, I wish my business was really big. I wish I made that kind of money. But then you don't see a lot of the inner workings, and a lot of the biggest businesses that you see, not counting like, Jeff Bezos level businesses, but
that's different.
Yeah, like
there are tiers.
Right. We'll say like, the average achievable business. A lot of the times those creators have a lot of different revenue streams, and they don't have all their eggs in one basket. Not to mention, if something were to happen, I'm not saying that like Etsy shop were to close down, because you should always have a plan in the event that your Etsy shop were to get closed down. That's why I always recommend having an email list. That way, if you need to make a website, you've already got your customers all on an email list. You can direct them to a website. But I mean other revenue streams, as in you're a crochet shop and you get in a terrible accident where you lose both of your hands. I don't know. But the point is, what if the thing that you're making, or the only thing that you know how to make, suddenly is not in demand, or there is, a changing of seasons? You make crochet cozy warm baby hats. Your business probably isn't booming right now. It's very hot outside for a lot of, the US. So if you create a product that mostly does well during a certain season, or if you experience these slow summer sales like most people do, then it's a good idea to have additional revenue streams that bring in a little bit of extra money here and there. And
a little pinch here and there.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more sustainable, because there's nothing worse than owning a business and that business doing really, really well, and then 1 or 2 or 3 months out of the year, you hardly make any money.
We've been there.
Oh, yeah. And you got to ration it out. And then you have to be like, when you make a lot of money, you can't just, make plans for that money. You have to think about, oh, what if I don't have any money next month? And it can be a big pain. When you have those additional revenue streams coming in, it's a lot less stressful. And a lot of the ones that we're going to talk about today, they don't really take any extra work. They're very easy. So I think that we're good to go ahead and get started.
Ann said, Mark looks tired. And Aaron said, no one wants to hear that they look tired. I don't care. I know I look tired. No, my back's been hurting real bad this week. So it's just kind of... It's draining me a little bit. I slept weird last night, so I messed up my shoulder laying on my prickly pillow right now. I do that more than I like to say. Sleep weird, and then you end up with your arm all goofy for like a week.
Let's look at the poll real quick, and then we will...
55% of people say no, but they want to have multiple revenue streams. Good, because it helps. It really does help.
Go ahead and close the poll. That way it's...
I'll close the poll.
End poll. All right. Can you pop our notes
Let's
up?
get
so
our...
We got to have notes, guys, or we'll forget. We'll forget all the important
stuff. Gotta have notes.
All right.
Okay.
So, first revenue stream is one that I love. If you create anything visual, for example, if you are a photographer or an artist or a digital artist, or if you just like getting on Canva and throwing a bunch of their cool graphics together and slapping some text on something. It doesn't take a lot of effort, and that is Redbubble. We did have one of our Handmade Alpha Academy students get her Redbubble shut down for no reason. She does all original characters. I don't know if she's here today, but I don't know. It's like the first really bad case that I've seen of that happening, and that's so far the only negative thing that I've seen with Redbubble. The cool thing about Redbubble is that you can take all of your designs that you make, whatever they may be, go slap them on some products in Redbubble, and never log back in again. You don't have to handle products. You don't have to talk to customers. Yes. You don't have to handle customer service. You just add your designs in and you walk away, and Redbubble's just like, oh, thank you for the designs, and they sell the stuff and you get a little bit of money. I made a sale on Redbubble last night.
Oh, good.
I only made 21 cents because the person only bought a sticker, but it's 21 cents I wouldn't have had. Redbubble is a really, really great way to set something up. It does take a little bit of time to, get all your designs into Redbubble, but it's a set it and forget it revenue stream, and you get paid out once I think you have to reach a certain threshold of sales before it all gets paid out to you, I believe. But either way, last year I made around $100 on Redbubble, and I only logged into it once to add all my designs in, and then I walked away from it. So even our 10-year-old daughter has a Redbubble shop right now. She created a Redbubble shop with her artwork on it. So Redbubble, really cool way to take some things that you slap together, or things that you put more time into. It could be the exact same designs that you have in your Etsy shop that you put into a Redbubble account. Either way, it's really easy. I think that it's a great starter business for teenagers. If you've got a teen who's interested in business, just say, hey, let's start you on Redbubble before we start the Etsy part, because Etsy, there's a lot more that goes into it, and you also have to handle the customer service. But with Redbubble, you just slap things onto products, choose the products that you want those designs on, and your store gets open. So pretty cool.
Sessions by Crystal said Redbubble removed my art because they said it was copyright infringement, but it was a picture I took.
Yeah, I think that we had somebody say the same thing. So what I would do is dispute it. You do have you should have a portal where you can dispute things with Redbubble.
And most of what I see on Redbubble is copyright material, so...
Dulcie said I make over $1 on my stickers, up the cost on those stickers. I think I need to. I think my margins are messed up. Let's see.
What did you make? I'm not a great graphics artist. None.
What did I make? I got on Canva and I used a lot of their designs. I don't share my Redbubble because that's one I want to take off organically because I want to be able to eventually teach more information on Redbubble.
We can't do that if it's inflated with all of our alphas going and looking at it.
Yeah. If you guys want to see Taylor's, our daughter's Redbubble, hers is Mosspaw
Forest.
Mosspaw Forest. I think she's only got 3 designs on there right now. But if you want to check out Taylor, she's only 10 years old. It would make her day if you went and checked her shop out. But for Redbubble, I went in to Canva and I looked up graphics that were unique. I didn't just use like the things that look like clip art. I recommend doing like watercolor. If you go into Canva and you search watercolor, I don't know, dog, watercolor flower, watercolor coffee, watercolor pumpkin, you can find really pretty watercolor designs, and then you can make things have that more like farmhouse aesthetic. You know what I mean? There's all different designs on Canva though, so just dig in and find something that works for you. I felt like the watercolor art that they had in particular had a more unique feel, and it didn't just look like clip art. But you can do anything. There's so much that you can do. So
Is the SEO at Redbubble the same as at Etsy?
it's pretty similar. We have had a couple people request Redbubble data, and eRank recently got that in their trend buzz. The unfortunate thing is that the most search terms on Redbubble are copyright terms, and
Because most of the things on Redbubble are copyright.
yeah. So just don't stay away from the copyright terms, just like you would with Etsy. But you get a title, you get tags, and you get a description. And from what I have personally found through my own Redbubble store is that it's very much the same. Accurately describe your product, find some good long tail keywords. If something is trending on Etsy, it might be a theme that would translate over well to Redbubble. So I would start with Etsy as kind of your baseline for your keyword research. And keep things simple. And keep in mind that people are mostly searching for the designs rather than the product. So you can really just talk about what is in the image that you're uploading, as opposed to having to optimize for the specific types of product that you're selling. You're optimizing the image and talking about what is in the picture that you've uploaded, not the type of product you're printing on, which makes SEO a little bit easier, in my opinion, because you don't have to find a million ways to describe a phone case. The people aren't searching for the phone case. They're searching for the type of art that goes on the phone case. So, let's see.
Got a couple different questions here. Let's see. I got flagged for my drawing of Elvis despite it being a caricature of him. So they do take people down. They just do so very slowly.
Yeah.
It's probably on a reporting basis as well. They probably don't have an algorithm like what Etsy uses to take people down. So you probably got the short end of the stick on that one. Would you do an episode about relevant paid advertising for Etsy shops? I always get nervous about spending money on marketing.
Possibly. The thing with paid advertising on Etsy is it's either going to work or it's not, and there's a lot of other factors that have to be good in order for it to work, so it's a very subjective topic. My advice is always to just test, and if things aren't working, then pull your ad budget back. How do you feel about selling on Society6? It's much the same as a lot of the other platforms. I just am not familiar with it because I haven't personally done it, but I have bought from Society6.
Dulcie said with Society6, you can't set your own margins except for your prints. So any other products, you simply get whatever royalty they offer for the project. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I like being able to set the prices myself.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's move on. We got a lot more to get to.
Yep, Redbubble. And then the second one that I wanted to point out that is very similar to Redbubble that I don't personally use, but Pam Duthie, who we all know and love, she loves Teespring. And the cool thing about Teespring is if you have a YouTube channel, you get what's called a shelf under your YouTube videos where you can have, like if you make t-shirts, for example, you can have your t-shirts all lined up and listed right under a YouTube video directly on YouTube. So if you go to Pam Duthie's channel and look at any of her videos, you can often see her little shelf of products down below her videos. So Teespring, not one that I've looked into yet, but I'm personally going to. I hear that it's very much the same as Redbubble, where you don't have to deal with any of the customer service. You just choose the products that you want to put your designs on, and they do the rest. So might be something to look into, especially if you have a YouTube channel.
Linda asked if HA talks about profit margins.
Not setting margins. We talk about pricing in module 7. And honestly, if you need a course on pricing, you don't need a course. You need to go to eRank's profit calculator in the tools tab on eRank. and use that to set your prices, because anybody who says that they have like a perfect pricing course, it's like it's not necessary.
Profit margins are extremely subjective.
Yes.
It depends on what kind of product you sell, where you're at, what you're able to get your supplies for, the current state of the economy. There's a lot that goes into that. So
yeah.
next.
Oh, well, I would be interested to know how different it is to set up tags on Redbubble. It seems different since they seem to add the product name after the keywords. For tags on Redbubble, I would just repeat the terms that best describe the piece, like the art that you're uploading, not the items themselves, because Redbubble already is categorizing the items. So what you need to optimize for is the art that you're uploading.
That's it.
Okay, cool. All right, next one is going to be a little bit more in depth, but obviously, if you are a busy Etsy seller making a lot of things with your hands, it's going to be a lot easier for you than creating handmade products, is to create your digital files, patterns, and SVGs. So for example, if you run a crochet shop and it takes you a lot of time to crochet one of your, I don't know, we'll say baby blankets. What you can do is maybe open a secondary shop where you just sell patterns. I do not recommend opening a shop that sells patterns to make things and the finished pieces. I know that
not all in one.
A lot of sellers do have success with it because they've been doing it for a long time. But if you're just starting out, I don't recommend opening a shop like that. The reason being is that it's going to have two entirely different markets. And if somebody is, buying patterns, they're not going to buy the finished piece. So you've got two products that are working against each other in that shop. So digital files, patterns, SVGs, if you want to take some of your designs and create them as scalable vector graphics, that way other people could use them to create their own products with. Maybe they want to buy some SVGs from you. That way they can print, those designs on their own t-shirts and you don't mind them buying those and buying the rights to them. That's another option that you can do. Digital files. I'm noticing that there are more and more digital shops opening up for things like weddings, like wedding place cards and table numbers and invitations and party invitations and different things to print at home. Last minute holiday cards are also a really great thing. For example, somebody forgot that, oh my goodness, tomorrow is Mother's Day. I didn't get my mom a card. They hop on Etsy, they buy a print at home card, they print it and voila. So these are all things that aren't going to make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but they can make a substantial difference with not a lot of effort, depending on how you set it up.
Yes.
Next one that I love and one that's going to be good for very specific types of business is Amazon affiliate links.
We use them.
We definitely use them. Amazon affiliate links are a great way to take things that are congruent with your business and be able to market those products. For example, if you create, I'll say, hand-dyed yarn. That's one that a lot of people do. If you sell hand-dyed yarn that people use for knitting and crochet, maybe you have favorite knitting needles or crochet hooks that you love and recommend, you could generate an Amazon affiliate link and put that link everywhere. Post it on social media. Create on your Instagram a Instagram highlight section in your Instagram highlights and put all of your Amazon affiliate links and call it your shop or a recommended shop or something like that. And then when people click on it, you'll also have the option to add a link into that, story feature that you have in your highlights so that they can purchase that item.
Maybe you sell paper, custom, what is that market called?
Paper and Party?
No, like stuff to actually write on
calligraphy.
Cards. No.
The
things
stationery.
Stationery. There you go. I couldn't think of the word. Maybe you sell stationery. You can link different, maybe like writing tablets that people use like on their laps. You could link different pens. You could link it. Anything where people could use along with your product. You might have to think outside of the box, and this is definitely going to be very specific depending on the industry. And most industries, honestly, probably aren't going to have something that this can go with. But this can be one that you can make a lot of money on, especially if you have a huge social media following, because that's going to be the primary place that you sell stuff. Because you're not going to you can't link that kind of stuff in your Etsy store, you know?
Yeah, and I see this a lot on pages that are, I call them Amazon pages. For example, I follow a page, I think it's called like Mom Life or something, and it gives like a bunch of different craft ideas where you can tell that they just went on Pinterest and found a bunch of fun craft ideas, which is why I followed them. But in between their craft ideas that they post, where they've just saved an image off Pinterest and, you know, posted the lengthy article, they also will post, oh, check out this cool bath toy. You know, my kids love this. And then they'll slap their Amazon affiliate. So the whole page is about things for moms and recipes and craft ideas and things like that. But then every once in a while, it's, oh, look at this cool product I found on Amazon. Here's my affiliate link. So even if you can't think of a congruent, you know, Amazon product to use for some affiliate marketing for your current business, you could always make a secondary page about something that you're passionate about. Maybe you sell baby blankets, but you also really like, you know, unique products for dogs. Maybe you create an entire Facebook page just about dogs and, you know, dog training and dog treats and dog enrichment. And then every once in a while you sprinkle in some Amazon affiliate links on cool, you know, stimulating dog toys.
Yeah, again, think outside the box. Maybe you sell candles. You could do a book of the week club.
Yeah.
Where you post your favorite book that you're reading, that people can buy your candles, and you say, hey, I recommend this book this week. Like, there's infinite possibility when it comes to doing something like this, especially like she said, if you have like a side stream. If you're doing the baby stuff, you could have parenting books that you recommend. You could have like favorite baby products or baby education websites that maybe they'll link. You know, there's all different kinds of stuff that you can do.
Yeah. So if you wanted to set something up that was separate from your business, that's a possibility too. But if you're going to use your primary business as your you know, the main platform where you're going to be talking about those Amazon affiliate links, just make sure that they tie in with your products in some way, because it would be really weird if you made jewelry and you were shouting out Amazon affiliate links for like iPads or something. It just doesn't make sense. So,
right. I mean, honestly, when it comes to especially the digital files, patterns, SVGs, if you're doing like primarily print on demand, I wouldn't see any reason why you wouldn't have your Etsy shop and then literally have everything on every single other platform available. You've already done the work. You already have the mock-ups. You already have the SEO. You already have everything ready to go. It's just a matter of starting the accounts and putting them up there.
yeah, unless it's like digital files that you just don't want.
I'm talking about
Redbubble.
print on demand products specifically. If you're doing digital files, patterns, SVGs, you already have the patterns, SVGs, and all that stuff available. Just stick them on other websites on printable things.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Next
one is virtual assistants. This is a really good one if you've got a lot of time and you want to convert time to money. This is not a good one if you don't have any potential skills that you could sell. Skills that people are willing to pay for include creating social media content for them. Maybe you help another Etsy seller who really wants to do good on social media, but they don't know how to use Canva or they don't have the time. If you're good at, you know, tossing little designs together on Canva and they could send you a bunch of photos of their products, you could create a social media pack for them to sell. You know, here is 20 or 30 a month's worth of social media posts for, I don't know, $100? $100 for a month of social media?
That seems a little low, but yeah.
You could
Depends on how many.
I was gonna say you could probably charge more than that.
I do $100 for like 10.
$100.
10 bucks a post. Well, $10 a post seems a little
Yeah.
pricey. I don't know. You'd have to look up the pricing on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. You could have someone hire you to post on social media for them. And managing their social media accounts. That's another big in-demand thing that businesses are always looking for. You can edit product photos for people. Maybe somebody is really, really great, you know, at marketing and things like that, but they're just not good at editing those photos and brightening them up, or maybe they don't have the time to do that. Or cutting their products out of photos. If you've got the background remover tool on Canva, you could potentially take, you know, somebody's products and cut them out for them and then just send them the PNGs over with the transparent backgrounds. There are so many things that people are willing to hire out to make their life easier. And if you've got a little bit of time, that's something that you could do. You could answer emails for somebody, answer their social media account messages. A lot of different websites allow you to post listings. I do have a list of them, though, that I recommend, that I have done a little bit of research into. Just keep in mind they're all ones that are industry standards. So I know that there are a lot of people who don't like Fiverr, for instance. But it's, it's one of those things where you need to look into the details. If you're selling your services on these platforms, just make sure that you do your research, because some people really hate Fiverr, some people really love Fiverr.
Pick your battles.
Yeah. So options are Upwork, which is probably the biggest for selling services, Fiverr. Those are the two main ones. And then I also did some research into a couple others. Boldly, Boldly, Ly, yeah. Boldly. The VA Handbook is apparently another big one. The VA Handbook. And Horky Handbook was another one.
That sounds not appropriate.
Horky Handbook. That's one that I looked up, and apparently it's real.
Okay, I'll believe you.
So those are the main ones. If you want to look into selling services on those websites, and do some virtual assistant work. Or you also have the option to post in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, link down below, and say, hey, I'm interested in doing some VA work for an Etsy seller. If you need help with social media, I'm pretty good at it. Or if you need help with making, content for the month, I'm pretty good at it. So feel free to utilize the Facebook group if you need help doing that. Just please don't sell coaching and things like that without us first verifying that you are safe. we like to vet things like that, because there's a lot of, well, you guys know, there's a lot of scheminess in the coaching industry right now.
Mm-hmm. More to come later.
Yeah. All right, next one is membership subscriptions to websites that allow them.
Big one.
Yeah, membership subscriptions are basically people subscribe to you on whatever platform you do so choose, and in exchange for subscribing to you, you give them additional content that nobody else would have access to. So
private content.
Exactly. So Instagram has one. If you qualify for one of their monetized creator or business profiles, you can get a membership service where I believe that you can create exclusive posts and live streams and things like that only those who pay a little bit of money get to see. Patreon is another good one. You can do membership tiers, and basically they can subscribe to get certain content from you that the public won't receive. You can do online teaching. That's what Mark and I do. We have a actual course that we sell twice a year.
Yes.
And that is, a lot more work, because if let's say that you create, I don't know, you do crochet and you want to teach people how to crochet. You can usually get away with the smaller platforms like Instagram and Patreon, and even YouTube has a membership program where people can pay a little bit extra. So maybe
I think you have to have so many subs to be able to do that, though. I don't know if you can do that from the get-go.
No, you can't. And
I didn't think so.
No, and that's why YouTube monetization isn't one of the things that we're recommending today, because you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah, we thought about doing the memberships thing, but it's like, what extra would we offer?
Yeah, we already give you guys everything that
we try to do just the course to be what you pay for, and then everything else be free.
But it might be a fun option. There are also places where you can do small mini courses that you can sell. For example, Udemy is another cool website where you can create your own little mini courses. Just keep in mind that if you do decide to teach somebody something, maybe there's a skill that you have, you're good at, I don't know, dog training, crocheting, you want to teach people how to paint. There are so many things that you can do and teach people how to do it and sell those as a course. But there are two things that you have to have in order to do that, to make sure that your course is successful. The first thing is a good microphone. You cannot use your crappy webcam mic. You cannot use the crappy default mic that came on your digital camera. I also don't recommend using the mic that's on your phone, because that one isn't very good either.
It's poo-poo. If you're going to be using a computer, I mean, honestly, I highly recommend the 𝔹𝕒𝕒𝕟 mics. They're relatively cheap for what they are. They plug in USB, And they have software where you can put plugins and all kinds of things in. They have noise canceling you can turn on. They're great.
Blue Yeti would be fine too. Snowball mic would be fine.
Yetis are more expensive and they don't sound as good as these. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but most people, they already have one. So
yeah, if you have a Blue Yeti, that's fine too.
Blue Yeti, Snowball, those are all okay. And you want to make sure that you have a good camera. So make sure that you put a little bit of money into your camera. Your camera phone is technically fine, but you need to make sure that you have some type of video editing software where you can sync up the audio from your microphone and the video from your cell phone, and you can also delete the audio from the video on your cell phone after you sync everything up. So just make sure that if you are planning on creating content like that on an actual course website like Udemy, you need to make sure that you have good audio and video quality. And if that sounds like a headache, do Instagram memberships and Patreon and things like that, because in those cases, the quality itself doesn't matter nearly as much as you just creating the content.
And quick tip, if you want to be able to sync up your audio, super, super easy to your video, start recording on your video, start recording on your audio, and then clap. Do like 5 or 6 claps, give it a second, do 5 or 6 claps, and then you can match the claps up, delete the crappy audio off, and then you're all synced up.
Yep. That's how we do every single video that we record.
Every take, just a couple of claps. And if you're going to record multiple videos all in one take, you just do more claps to signify when you're doing your next take. If you have sound canceling, that can be a little more difficult. A lot of cell phone recordings will automatically have sound canceling built in. So as soon as you're done doing your claps, what I do, because our mics have sound canceling as well, get up next to the mic and do kind of little quiet clicks with your finger so you can see the spikes in the audio. Next.
All right, do we want to finish the last 3 and then answer questions? Because we have a lot.
Yes.
We'll go through the last 3 and then we'll answer all questions. Next one is tool affiliate services. A lot of the online tools that you use right now have affiliate centers. For example, Canva has one. You can shout out Canva to your subscribers, and I believe that Canva pays 20% on their membership, I think that it's 20%, and I think that every time their subscription takes out, like if they pay for the yearly, you would get a commission every year, I think. But most affiliate services have something similar to that. So if there's a service that you use and you love, like Canva, and you want to shout it out, you can sign up for their affiliate center or even email services and ask them. You can say, hey, do you guys have an affiliate option? I would love to shout you out. And then they will pay you to recommend their tool based on how many people sign up. We are currently not affiliates of any of the services that we recommend, but I'm thinking about it because it's one of those things where we already recommend services like Canva. I don't know why we haven't set up affiliate partnerships with them yet. I think it's like the stigma that comes with affiliate memberships. I know a lot of people really hate when you shout out something that you love and you're also getting paid for it. So if we do it, we will only be recommending things that we actually use. But all of that aside, if there's an online tool that you use and you love that has a paid membership, check to see if they have any type of affiliate program that you could sign up for, and you can usually make a little bit of money. Next one is, this is such a no-brainer, but it's one of those things that we have to say. Sell the crap laying around your house that you don't need. Depop is owned by Etsy. That's a really great place that you can sell things around your house. If you've got some clothes and things like that you don't need anymore, sell that stuff. If you've got some cool, more like media-based items like games and books and things like that, I say Mercari, and you said that's
Mercari.
Mercari. I said Mercari. Mercari. I think that that's a great platform if you have anything that kind of falls in the pop culture realm. I also noticed that old vintage t-shirts, like old band tees from the 90s, are really, really popular over there as well.
If you've got shoes, StockX. I mean, honestly, if you have clothes that are somewhat in the designer realm, do a quick Google search, see if they're popular in whatever realm, clean them up and stick them on StockX.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people sell stuff. And tech is also a thing on there too. So if you have old iPhones, old phones in general, old tech that some people might want that might still be in demand as long as you know how to clean it. You can stick that kind of stuff up there too. Just look into different sources.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of websites like this. I mean, you could
Tons.
you could do eBay if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to, clear out your house and also make a little bit of money doing so if you don't want to go through the hassle of listing it all on Facebook Marketplace and maybe having someone show up at your house, but then they never show up, which has happened to me so many times. It's a good way to make sure that you get the money before you put in any effort, and then you can just stick it in an envelope and ship it out. Last one is another one where you're going to need to have your own platform, your own landing page, your own website, but that would be blogging on a topic that you know a lot about.
Yes.
Blogging itself isn't going to get you a bunch of money, but you can put paid ads on your blogs. Have you ever wondered why when you find a recipe that you want to look at online, you have to scroll all the way through somebody's life story just to get to the recipe? It's because in between their life story, they fit in as many paid ads as they can, and that's how they're making money. That's why they make their life story so long before you ever get down to the recipe itself. They want to make that as long as possible.
Ads.
Yeah, they know that nobody's reading all that, but they also know that the longer they make their story, the more ads that they can get in there, and they get paid for that. So blogging, I wouldn't say make, a big long recipe blog with as many ads as possible, but hey, it works for some people. You could blog on anything that you're knowledgeable about. Mm-hmm. And if you can make it a blog for your business, that's even better. If you create, I don't know, a women's health related product, you could create an entire blog about women's health. There's so many things that you could do based around your product.
Health products in general, you can write about just about anything health-wise. Just be careful spreading misinformation. There's a lot of that in the health industry. So,
what blogging platforms are good? WordPress is essentially
you could do your own.
Yeah, blog.
You could do your own website. You could do just your WordPress site. Yeah.
Yeah, WordPress would be you would have the most capability with a WordPress site.
You can use Elementor to build it. You can stick ads on the side of your page using Elementor.
Yep. All right, guys. So real quick, we are going to share our income streams, all of the places that we make money. It's a lot. And then we will go back through and answer questions.
Yes.
So here are all of our income streams. Some of them come with disclaimers, and not all of them make a lot of money. But when we look at how much money we've made at the end of the year, it all adds up. So
every a penny's a penny.
Yeah. If you only make, $20 from Redbubble at the end of the year, but you didn't have to put in any work to do it.
It's a half a tank of gas.
Exactly. That's money you didn't have. You have to think about how all of these work together. So our income streams are Etsy. That one. This one is it's teetery because Alphadapt, that money goes to Amber, but I felt like I needed to include it because I do put a lot of work in there and it does bring in money, but that money goes to Amber Marie. And I'm working on another Etsy shop. So I wanted to put Etsy in there just because it technically is going to be a more solid revenue stream.
And I mean, we did have our primary source of income being Etsy for a very long time.
9 years.
Yeah, very, very long time.
So Etsy, obviously, most of you have Etsy shops. That's why you're here. Redbubble is the next one. If I'm going back based on last year's numbers, and assuming that my holiday season this year on Redbubble is much the same, I would say I make about $100 a year on Redbubble as of right now. eRank, I am essentially a virtual assistant for eRank. I am the social media content manager at eRank. I do the social media. I do content planning. I help with the direction of the things that we're going to focus on at eRank in terms of education. I do live streams for eRank.
Big brain stuff.
Big brain stuffs. And
I do data analysis.
Yeah.
For eRank.
So technically we're VAs. We're providing a service. Next one is Amazon affiliate links.
And this is one of the examples of one of the small ones. We only make pennies on the dollar for Amazon affiliate stuff. But books, we recommend books.
Yeah, and that's money that we get to donate. So that's money that we bring in, but because it doesn't take any effort, we just donate that money anyway to the Wolf Conservation Center of South Salem, New York. But all of the books that we recommend in the Handmade Alpha Academy within the Alpha Library in HAA, we also have affiliate links attached to those. So that's another way that we make money. We don't make a lot of money on it, but money does come in. Next one is YouTube monetization. This is a big one. So if you can create any online content that you feel would be of value, you need to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and I believe 4,000 watch hours on your channel. And once you reach that point, you are eligible for monetization. As of right now, we make about $1,000 a month on YouTube. So that includes these live streams. We usually make between... If it's a real banger and it does super good, we can sometimes make $100 on these live streams. For my shorter videos, those tend to get more views because they're shorter. We usually make between 30 on the low end to 100 to sometimes $200 on those videos. So YouTube is a great option, but it is a lot of time investment. You do need to make sure that there's quality there. One thing I will say is that mic quality is significantly more important than camera quality when it comes to YouTube, because you can watch a blurry video with great sound and still watch it, but you can't watch a nice crisp video with awful sound and still watch it, because it's the sound that matters most to you, right? If it sounds really bad, you're just, ugh. So, but I will say that with YouTube, you can totally use your phone as long as you have a nice high quality phone that does take good video. It's not like the online courses where I said that the audio and video need to be perfect, because YouTube content is free. It's free information that you're sharing with the internet. You can totally use your phone for that and then work your way up. And a cool thing about YouTube affiliate or YouTube monetization money is that you can put that money right back into your YouTube channel to make it better. So the reason that Mark and I are able to improve things like our camera quality, you guys will notice that a couple months ago, our camera quality got really good. Our sound quality has gotten significantly better. We've got cool lighting in the background. We pay for all of this out of the money that we make from YouTube, and we put it right back into YouTube. And because of that, we're able to make more videos, and then those videos make us more money. And it just turns into this really great cycle that allows us to upgrade things and make things better for you. So YouTube monetization, as long as you can teach something, entertain, create value in some way, then you can totally create a YouTube channel. And it doesn't need to be associated with your business. It could be its own entity. If there's something that you do in your free time that you're really passionate about, that you want to share with people, you could totally do that. Some of the most monetized and wealthiest YouTubers in the world just stream themselves playing video games. Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, they all got their start just streaming themselves playing video games. So if that's something that you already do, then, maybe start a YouTube channel. I'm not saying that it's going to make millions and millions and millions of dollars, but if you're already playing video games on the weekends, then maybe if you recorded that and streamed it, you could make $20. It's money that you wouldn't otherwise make. And sometimes it's fun to make money doing something that you already like to do, like these live streams, for example. Mark and I have been doing these every single Friday for going on 5 years now, and it's just second nature now. If you create, a habit, not only do your followers know to show up, it's like brushing your teeth. It just comes naturally. The next way that I make money is through my book. I wrote a book, and I will say that of all of my revenue streams, the book was the one that cost the most money and got the least amount of return the way that I personally did it. I self-published, but I did do the large scale distribution. I published my book and it is printed through Ingram Spark. I also go through Amazon, KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. I basically had to pay, I would say it was around $5,000 up front to secure 2 editors, to get all of my memberships for everything that I would need, to buy my website for my book, which is 𝔸𝕚𝕚𝕒𝕟.com. I did DIY my cover, my book cover. I did that myself, so I didn't have to pay for that. But I bought character art and licensing so that I could create my merchandise with it. There are cheap ways to create books. You don't have to go crazy if you want to create a book or an ebook to sell. You could absolutely just do the ebook version, not hardly spend any money, go through KDP, and publish that book, and be able to walk away and be done with it. And it's that's super duper easy. It's just another option. And I also have a merch store for that book. So next one we talked about already, online teaching. I am a coach. We've got the Handmade Alpha Academy. That is what we open twice a year. That one is obviously our main revenue source because it's the one that we invest the most time into. We put countless hours into making our course the very best that it can be, with high quality video and audio, and it is one of those things where you put in a lot of work up front, and then once you finish that work up front, you don't have to work as much afterwards, and you can kind of relax a little bit. So the work is done, the product is done, we sell the product, and then we just help everybody as they work through the program, but we're not having to create the product over and over again.
Yeah, most of the job with teaching an online course after the product has been created is primarily customer support and maintenance, and then advertising.
Yep.
I mean, that's really it. It's not passive, but it's about as close to passive as you can get.
Yeah.
And the income scalability is a lot higher than most other industries.
Yeah. And the last one is speaking events. I charge for my time. I am not free. So if you want to hire me, except for him, if you want to hire me for an event, I do charge for that. If you want to hire me for an online speaking event, I charge for that as well. I don't speak. I do not speak for free.
I'm just the muscle.
He's just the muscle. He's the bodyguard.
I just stand there.
Yeah, we did in 2019, we did a live tour where we toured to Louisville and Pittsburgh and Columbus and somewhere else. Can't remember. We toured, and
I didn't like it.
We had to pay for our own travel and our own hotels and our own food, and gas, and it was awful. And I said never again. So I don't do those for free anymore because
No. It was a lot of time and it was a lot of money. Fortunately, everything you spend when you do speaking events, almost everything is a business deductible expense. So food, hotels. If you're doing extravagant things, usually anything. If you go out to eat. Pro tip in the U.S. at least, if you go out to eat and you buy drinks, I believe that meal is no longer tax deductible. Alcohol is not a tax deductible expense.
Yeah.
Unless you are going out there to meet a client and you buy them a drink. I think that is to talk to your tax accountant, but it gets really weird when you get into speaking events and what you can and can't write off.
Yeah. So the only events that I don't charge for when I'm speaking at schools. I don't think that it's right to charge to speak at a school. So when I went and spoke, that's
an honor to speak to students.
Yeah, I went and spoke at my old high school this year and spoke to the seniors about life after graduation and what it's like to not go to college after you graduate. And I did that, and I also spoke at the University of Dayton, which college. And obviously I didn't charge for that. I went and spoke to their business students. And wow, they don't learn enough.
No, they don't.
I cannot believe what they didn't know. So, but that's how we make our money. Mr. Moore, you can go ahead and close out Trello and we can go through questions.
Go ahead and get your questions in. It does not have to be about the topic at hand, though it can be.
And I know we had a lot up there, so we'll try to get through.
All right, let's go up a little bit. Oh, we didn't have that many. It was right about here.
Okay, a little bit more. How do I set up?
Instagram subscriptions. How do you set up Instagram subscriptions?
You know what, Christina? I actually am not sure, but I know that you can because they just rolled it out. So I would Google it. I haven't had the chance to really look into it, but it's a brand new feature that they just rolled out. You have to have a business account or a creator account to be able to do it.
Yeah. And they might have a limitation on the amount of people that you have following you as well, and they might not have rolled it out for everybody yet.
Yeah.
A lot of times they only roll it out to like different
tiers.
Different tiers, different amounts of followers at a time.
I'm pretty sure it's available to everybody who's eligible, but Google it, and if Instagram isn't possible at first, start with something like Patreon, because I don't think you don't need to have anything for Patreon. You could start there and then add in the Instagram subscription afterwards.
Will you list newer mic info in your notes? I posted a link to the one that we use right now, and then I also put that the Blue Yeti and Blue Snowball are decent options for USB microphones.
Yeah, Tanya, if you scroll to the chat, you should be able to find it.
And if you're a Handmade Alpha Academy student, I am actively working on the Mark's Tech Guide. That's just going to take a little while. And what's a good beginner video editor? It depends on how much you need to do. You can get away with doing some pretty easy stuff using CapCut, which we have a video on the channel.
Yeah, I did that 2 weeks ago, how to edit your videos using CapCut.
I've never personally used it, but she uses it.
I love it.
And then Canva, you can do some somewhat basic stuff. We use Premiere Pro. That's a monthly subscription. I want to say it's $25.99 a month. That's pretty hefty for most people. They do have Premiere Elements, which is a one-time payment. It's a stripped-down version, but unless you're doing some hardcore editing, most of what you guys do should be able to get away with something like that. And then we don't use any free video editor, so I really honestly can't recommend any off of the top of my head. But if you just Google best free video editors, I would also throw in no watermark, because most of them watermark your videos. There's a ton, like tons, absolute ridiculous amount that you can choose from.
That's why I love CapCut, though, because you can edit videos from CapCut, and then if you don't want to post them like to Instagram or from your phone, just take those videos and put them into Google Drive or Dropbox if you have those apps on your phone. And then you can just save them and upload them wherever you need to.
Mm-hmm. Print on demand for landscape photography. Can I leave my signature, i.e. logo, on the photo so that it appears when it prints, or do they prefer we leave it off? Any type of watermark or signatures.
They don't. The service doesn't care. It's the customers.
Yeah, it's the customer. So it just depends on who you're trying to appeal to. I mean, if you're really proud of what you do, then I would just leave it on there. Depends on how far your pride goes at that point, honestly.
Yeah.
That is entirely up to you.
The services themselves don't care. It's your business.
Yeah, I doubt any of the print services are going to care if you do that.
No, they don't.
Read their terms, obviously. I don't know, but for the most part, nobody should care. What blogging platform? Oh, we already answered that. More like a quarter tank of gas, $20 half a tank. I'm sorry for all of you that bought gigantic trucks that take $100 to fill up. Don't worry, we understand. Our car takes $100 to fill up.
I was gonna say our car takes premium. It's $100 every time we fill the tank.
Yeah, my favorite is watching the people that bought trucks, even though we live in a city and there's absolutely nothing they could need a truck for. I'm like, you're really regretting that decision now, aren't you? Let's see. Can you YouTube monetize versus Patreon?
Patreon, you don't need to have any you don't have to have like any requirements. You just sign up for Patreon. With YouTube, I believe you have to reach a certain threshold of like watch hours and things. So it's going to be a lot harder to create memberships on YouTube because you will need to be established on YouTube already. So I would start with Patreon because anybody can do Patreon.
But if you use Patreon, if you advertise that on your YouTube channel, I don't think you can monetize your videos because you're getting money from the video from a different source. I'm pretty sure that's an avenue stream and you're not allowed to use YouTube monetization and Patreon at the same time. That's why it's usually inappropriate YouTube channels that have Patreons and not everybody else. They've changed a lot of stuff in the more recent years, like Amazon affiliate stuff. We technically can't link Amazon affiliate links for YouTube anymore. YouTube has been something I've been trying to slowly get into, and it's a lot of work and time. I've been editing on my phone, but I would prefer to edit on my computer, but I don't know what editing software. If you're really trying to get into YouTube for the long term, I would probably just start getting used to using Premiere Pro, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the industry standard for just about everybody.
When I first started editing on Premiere Pro, I sat down in front of it and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was so frustrated, and I told myself, I am never going to be able to figure this out. I am never going to learn what all this means. And then anytime I needed to do something, which, when the first time I sat down, I needed to learn how to do everything. I just Googled how to, XYZ in Premiere Pro. And every time I needed to figure out how to do something new, how to do this in Premiere Pro.
It is a nightmare. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a tech guy, and Premiere Pro is the most non-user-friendly program I have ever used. And my audio editing software is free. I use a free program, and it is significantly better than Premiere Pro. But Premiere Pro has the most options, and that's why it's not user-friendly.
Yeah, Premiere Pro, if you watch any big YouTuber, they edit with Premiere Pro.
Yeah. Or their editor uses Premiere Pro.
Yeah, that's every YouTube is edited in Premiere Pro. And the more you get used to it and condition yourself to realize, like, okay, I will figure this out the more that I work on it, then it does get easier. Because I never thought that I would figure it out, and I did. I use it multiple times a week now.
Patreon versus Buy Me a Coffee. I've never used Buy Me a Coffee.
Buy Me a Coffee is one that I like. Buy Me a Coffee simply because I feel like Patreon people have higher expectations of what they're going to receive, because with Patreon, you are signing up to get a certain tier that will include a set, item, like a set content amount that you're going to provide. Buy Me a Coffee, I feel like I've always been under the impression that it's more of like you pay to support the creator, and it's almost like more of a donation type thing. Whereas Patreon, you are actually signing up to get something. You want to receive that content.
Patreon can also be used just for strictly developmental purposes. You don't have to provide anybody anything on Patreon. Like your name gets included in the thank you.
There's an expectation, though.
Yeah, there's well, it depends. I use Patreon for a lot of different stuff. Let's see. Easier Trello board for social media and marketing plans.
Easier Trello board for social media and Are you asking for something easier than Trello for social media and marketing plans?
I would go with Trello. Trello is the best thing to go with at this point in time.
I'm not quite sure what you're asking, Linda, but Trello is what I use for all of my social media marketing planning. You can't schedule from it, but I load everything up into Trello so that I know exactly where it's been posted, when it was posted, and if it's a piece of content that did good last year, I will repurpose it. Do you have a Trello tutorial? I do. It's if you go to my channel and just type Trello, or if you type 𝔸𝕚𝕚𝕟 Trello into YouTube, you'll be able to find it. I've got a couple different Trello videos.
I just bought your book on my Kindle. I'm going on a solo camping trip this weekend and plan on reading it then.
Thank you. I had one sale of my book last month, and it was like my favorite author bought my book last month. So that was...
We'll be going on a trip next month and reading a lot of books.
Yes.
Going out to Mountain View, Tennessee.
Little trip in the woods.
Little trip in the... I mean, it's not a little trip in the woods. It's our year vacation.
Christina said, "Oh no, that's so horrible to hear. I was going to write a kid's book and illustrate it." I have a suggestion for you, Christina. I would not have been able to do anything. I'm not an affiliate, but I would not have been able to do anything with my book if it had not been for Michelle Badger, she was Michelle Harris. If you guys watched any of our accounting Friday Q&As way back in the day before we did the Friday Bean, and we interviewed the accountant lady, that's Michelle. Michelle did everything for my book. She edited my book. She helped me publish my book. She told me everything that I needed to publish my book. She helped me get my book into everywhere, Barnes & Noble, all the places. And she is trying to get her book services off the ground. You can follow her on Instagram at 4eyed Books. 4eyed Books.
Spelled out.
Spelled out, yeah. And look for the logo with Badger with red glasses. Michelle is amazing. Tell her that Starla sent you. And she can help you with anything. And she helps her mom, who is a children's book publisher and has published like 40 books or something like that. So something to look into.
Oh no, that's horrible. Oh yeah, that's the one that you. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Did you guys see I got new Friday Bean shirt?
Yeah.
We're going to be adding these to the shop. They're embroidered, but they've got the new Friday Bean logo, and they're embroidered with gold and red thread. So if you like this shirt and you want it to be added to the Elf Adapt shirt, type beans in the chat.
Somebody had recommended OBS for video. OBS is for video capture. I don't believe you can do any editing at all in OBS.
OBS is what we use for video capture, though.
I mean, what we're technically using right now to stream is OBS. It's just a different version of OBS. This is Streamlabs OBS, OBS Capture, OBS Studio. There's a bunch of different OBSs. I prefer Streamlabs. You get a lot more ads and stuff like that, like in the sidebars, but you can record from it, you can stream from it, you can do everything directly from it. And it's more user-friendly than the standard OBS Studio. It doesn't look like it's made in 1995, you know? Somebody already spelled it out.
Yeah.
I use Canva free in Photoshop Elements 15. Has anyone ever heard of watching shows or streams and get paid for evaluation? I mean, what is that organization that used to do it on TV? They still exist.
The something Berg.
No. Nielsen boxes.
Nielsen boxes. Something Berg.
Something Berg. What are you talking about? What is your experience with Twitch?
We had a Twitch channel for a little while, and we advertised it to the alphas, and apparently the alphas didn't want to watch us play video games, and we quit doing it.
Yeah, Twitch is a great platform if that's your life. If you're going to like be a gamer or make products or something like that and have a following that actually wants to watch, it's not really like a hop on and do it kind of platform. But you can.
Elva and Mark, they had one of the best alpha interviews that we had, and they hardly got any views. You guys, when this is over, you should go watch it.
It was great.
They are like professional Twitchers, and that is like their deal is Twitch. And they're the ones who made the armor for Lucifer, like Netflix's Lucifer, and they just got a deal with Disney as well to do armor for a show. So go watch their freaking interview. It didn't do very well. So go watch that. But they do Twitch, and I have their Twitch channel linked in the video description of that video. So you should go check out how they use Twitch for their business, because they do really well on it.
I have a website for my shop, but want to start a blog. Should I add that to my website or create a new website for the blog? Somebody had done it. Create a subdomain for your website, if like ours would be blog.handmadealphaacademy.com, and then you can do everything through there. Domain within a domain. And then you don't have to go through the process of like paying for things twice and meh. I have to Google every step every time I have to use Premiere Pro. Everything is so hidden in layers of menus. I'm thinking about creating a basic thing for the tech guide, expanding the tech guide in Handmade Alpha Academy out to being much, much bigger than it is, and including basic tutorials like editing with Photoshop and editing with Premiere Pro and things like that. We teach you how to edit photos in Handmade Alpha Academy using Canva. iPicky. So you have a free option because Photoshop isn't worth it for 99% of people, just simply because you're paying for something that you're going to use like 2 or 3 times a year when you push products into your shop, unless you're doing print on demand or whatever you're using Photoshop for. But for most people, they're only using it a couple times a year, so iPicky and Canva are more than enough. What about doing it the other way? I have a WordPress blog with no shop. Could I add a shop? Yeah, technically. Might be a little more in depth, but sure.
I answered that one.
Yes, you did. Starting to get a wholesale request. Any tips for warning signs to look for? Not wanting to pay anything up front.
Wholesale request, I would make sure that you have your rules outlined ahead of time for what you will accept and what you will not accept. I would say that if you have any issues wholesaling out where they want to white label, basically they want to buy your products with no credit to you, that needs to be something that you decide for yourself if you want to sell products without them, crediting your business. I would say that with wholesale orders, don't accept returns. And if possible, if this is something you decide to do for the long term, I would recommend setting up something outside of Etsy that's more catered for wholesale. For example, Fair, if you get accepted, Fair is where most of the alphas who are successful with wholesale list their products. So that could be an option, or your own website if you want to do it that way. Or you could even do like a Google form that they fill out in order to request a quote for your wholesale. But I would try, if you're doing it primarily on Etsy, I would try to move away from Etsy for wholesale as quickly as possible, because the last thing that you want is for, someone to dispute their purchase and you lose like 100 products or something like that. So
I might be hopping back on Patreon just for real estate purposes then, if it doesn't require any tier gifts. The thing is, I'm a member of like multiple Patreons, and some of them are for development, some of them are for existing products, and the ones for development are like tier 1, $1 per month, and it's like you get a thank you from me and a mention in the credits or whatever. Yeah. Tier 2, you get access to early builds of whatever. Like, there's different ways you can do it. But, I mean, technically all you have to offer is a thank you. A thank you is something, and it can be an automated email. So just read through their terms, figure out what it's for. Patreon's for a lot of different things. It's for funding projects, essentially. It can be for ongoing payment of stuff. I follow people that make 2 or 3 subscriptions that they have, and I follow some people that make like $50,000 a month. It just depends on what you're looking for. Patreon kind of implies regular content updates, ongoing commitment. Yeah. Again, it depends on the industry, but yeah. Are you going to make a Trello template for us? I think you talked about it before.
Oh, a Trello template. Yeah, it's that. I don't have like a date set on that. I gotta free up my schedule a little bit. But it is something that I plan to do in the future. I want to create a set of different Trello templates, but definitely not something that I'm actively working on at this time. I've got to get through summer. Our kitchen is about to completely be deconstructed on Monday, and our kids start summer school. So let me get my life together, but it is on the table, something that I want to create very soon.
I just opened an Etsy store like a month ago. Haven't made a sale yet. Would you advise taking HAA the next time it's available? Of course we would.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's designed for, but it's completely up to you. It will be open on December 1st. If you look through the, I don't think that I linked the waiting list today. I think I forgot.
If you go to handmadealphaacademy.com, there's a link to the waiting list on the homepage there too.
Yeah, just read through what we teach, and if it feels like it's something that will be congruent with what you want to learn to do, then absolutely.
If not, stick out here. We've got a ton of free content. Watch content over maybe the last year and a half, and you can get quite a bit out of it.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for avoiding burnout with Etsy? Oof, yeah.
Burnout, the thing is, burnout and maintaining motivation is discipline, not strategy.
Yes.
Maintaining motivation in anything is about doing it even when you don't want to. So, for example, think about a time in your life when you decided that you were going to start a diet. Okay. And you went through your kitchen and you threw out all the junk food, and you went to the grocery store and you bought all the healthy food. And then you decided, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to take a walk every day, or I'm going to do jumping jacks in my living room. And you had everything planned out on how you were going to start fresh. And you're like, yes, this is it. And the first day you were super stoked and super excited, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to feel so good. Second day, still, yeah, I'm feeling good. And then like a week later, you're walking around your house, and you notice that there's your kids' like animal crackers sitting on the counter, and they look like the most delicious thing you've ever seen in your life, and you end up eating the whole box.
Yeah. We've all been there, I think.
We've all been there. Motivation is a finite resource that goes away. Mm-hmm. So you should never 100% fuel yourself just on your initial motivation.
No.
Business success is about doing things once you're no longer excited about doing them. And some people are cut out for that.
And some people aren't.
Some people aren't. Do you think that we loved, spending an hour to 2 hours every Friday when we first started doing these live streams?
No, I hated it. I hated it.
I
love it now.
It sucked so bad on Fridays to have to take away from our Friday to sit and do live streams. We've been doing these for 5 years now. I don't even think about it. I don't stress about it. I don't worry about it. Sometimes I don't even have anything to talk about until the night before we stream. Like last night, we had no idea that this is the topic we were going to do. We were eating dinner and we're like, what are we going to cover on the Friday bean?
Sometimes they're last minute. Sometimes we have them planned out. It just depends on the week.
Yeah. But my point being is that the more you do something, it usually takes 63 days to build a habit. So I would recommend making sure that you keep up with whatever you're doing for at least 60 days and try to build yourself a good habit. And if you still hate it after that, then maybe you need to spice up what you're doing.
And as far as like mental burnout, because that's obviously a totally separate thing just from getting burnt out with the one specific thing that you're doing, you can't avoid mental burnout. It's gonna happen, but you can do things to decrease the amount of burnout you get on a daily basis. First and foremost, and it's probably the hardest thing to start if you haven't, organization. Organization is probably the number one thing that'll keep you from getting burnout, because anytime you have to say, okay, what's next, and you have to think about it, the less on schedule you are, and you're taking more time putting into figuring out, like what we said with the Friday bean. It's hard to schedule those ahead of time because a lot of the times things pop up or things seem more important one week over another. So that is what it is. But stay organized first and foremost. And when you have time to do a mental detox from all of the life crap, make it about that and don't let yourself drift off of it. If you say, I'm going to take today because I need today to get healthy, then don't be like, oh, I'm going to check my phone and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this. Like, make it your mental detox. Take your time to get away from what you do for a day every once in a while to kind of raise the bar back up to where it was.
Oh God, yeah. We're big on mental detoxes and clock out hours, because the thing is with business, and HAA students, listen to this because I'm seeing this a lot in the student campus right now. When you have a business, you will never be done.
Never.
You can work all day, every day, 24/7 and never be done. There will always be something to do, and you will feel like, I need to get it done. You want to feel accomplished. You want to feel like it's all done, but you'll never get there. There is no done when it comes to owning a business. There's only more things that will pile up. So with that being the case, what you need to do is, rather than look at everything that you need to do, you need to make yourself a little list. Make sure that you give yourself only a couple items each day that you need to accomplish. If you get done with all of those items, then you can take on a couple extra tasks, but have an hour every night when you clock off. I don't care if one of you guys emails me and you say that that it's an emergency. If it's like past 10 o'clock, I will get back to you in the morning, because I don't even know that you have sent me anything. I am offline at that time. It is time for decompression, hanging out with my family. I try to read every single night. I took off Wednesday. I posted in the student campus and told my students that, like, hey, I need to hang out with my mom today. I haven't seen my mom in a couple months. Mark and I are about to go out and hide in the woods next month. We
Airbnb, baby.
We Airbnb'd like the most desolate, non-touristy place ever, just so we can be alone.
Just a private ranch in Tennessee.
We're gonna be completely alone, and we're not gonna leave. We're just gonna stay in our little house
and read and let our kid swim in a pool.
Yeah, but take time to run away. Take time to run away from your business. Give yourself weekends. Give yourself nights.
And if you can't afford to actually go somewhere to do that, we know things are really expensive right now. Staycations, yes. Most places, unless you live in a big city, most places have little hiking trails you can run off to. Get yourself one of those little like camping chairs, one of the little crappy ones you take to like outdoor concerts and stuff. Go sit out in the woods and read somewhere. Like, there are so many ways that you can detox your brain, get away from everything without having to spend an exorbitant amount of money. Speaking of which, I mean, if you have, especially if you have a passport or if you live in Europe, we're looking on Airbnb specifically for if you want a cheaper vacation, look in places that you wouldn't necessarily think to look. Like, you know, when you live in the eastern coast of the United States, a lot of people look in places like Gatlinburg or Sevierville, Tennessee, Myrtle Beach, places like that. But those are places that know that they can get away with charging a ridiculous amount of money. We looked at going to Greece for our anniversary. There are places where you can rent like an entire house on the beach for like $100 a day. That's the price of a normal, like, relatively cheap hotel here in the United States. Like, look in places that you wouldn't normally look, and you might be able to save a lot more money than you think. Especially if you live in, like, central United States, you can find some pretty beautiful places for, like, under $300 a day.
We are thinking, and since we're kind of getting towards the end of comments, I'll shout this out, and I want you guys to let me know if you think it's a good idea and if it's something that you're interested in. If you are, post a wolf emoji or say the word wolf in the chat. We were thinking next year, possibly, we want to do we'll probably do it couples, but you don't have to have someone else if you don't want to.
Couples preferred, but not necessary.
Yeah, a retreat where we're thinking about renting out a big, beautiful mansion with like a pool and like a banquet hall.
Like a real mansion, like some like billionaire's house.
Yeah, like a billionaire type Airbnb mansion with like tennis courts and stuff. We've been looking at all like camping, hiking, whatever, all inclusive, and doing an alpha retreat for couples or solo if you want to. We're going to get...
You can get two alphas together if you want to split cost.
Yeah, and just charging, your ticket would include the catering, and you have to get yourself to the location wherever we do it. But we'll basically use your ticket price to pay for the giant location, and we were going to do like a morning workshop, and then the afternoon we can all hang out, or you can go off and do your own thing, go swimming or fishing or hiking.
We want to make it a fun thing, but also make it something that's tax deductible for everyone.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a workshop. We're going to do it in a central, nice, beautiful location, make it kind of a treat. But because it is a business-specific thing, a lot of it will be tax deductible. But we're going to cater the whole thing. We're going to probably do some goofy things on top of it, like little cooking classes and just bull crap.
Business workshop, basically.
Yes.
Like, all you would have to do is get there. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, I mean... Realistically, we're not looking at if we were to get like 10 couples together to do it, I mean, we'd all be sleeping in the same house. So
yeah, but we're looking at like actual like mansions, like places that cost $4,000 to $5,000 a day to stay. So
yeah,
there's quite a few people saying that they're interested in that. If
that's
that's the case, it will be a first come, first serve, probably no refunds kind of event.
Oh, yeah, because we have to secure it, right?
We will have to pay out of pocket at first to secure it. So we're talking probably like a $25,000 investment on our part. But if you guys would love to do something like that, it would probably be, we don't know what we'll charge. It depends on where we go. We'll get more into that as we get closer to it. That'll be either next year or the following year, just depending on logistics and things like that, the state of the economy, things like that. But
monkeypox.
Monkeypox, we don't want anybody coming in and giving us all monkeypox.
And we'll probably do catering and do the food and everything. That way you guys don't have to worry about any of that. It would just be like a fun vacation with Mark and Starla, and I was thinking like a morning workshop and an evening workshop, and then in between we can either all hang out together, or if you want to go off and do your own thing, you can do that too. So
people are asking when it would be, probably, or when and where it would be. So when, probably, it'll be, we have a kiddo that's in school, so it'll be sometime between when they release, so spring through late summer, somewhere in that time frame in the United States. Where? Somewhere here, probably. That's logistically, it's easiest for us to do stuff in the U.S. because then we don't have to worry about passports. 78% of our audience is in the U.S., so it's only fair that U.S. Duration, probably 3 to 5 days.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking 5 days, 1 day for arrival, 3 days of workshops, 1 day to prepare to leave. Somewhere in that time frame.
We're really we had a couple days ago where we had dinner, and that's all we talked about, and we looked at different.
Oh yeah, I was on Airbnb. I've got a few places saved. I've got one that is it is an 8-bedroom, I think, mansion in is it Connecticut?
On the side of the mountain?
It's on the side of a mountain.
Hanging off a mountain.
Hanging over the ocean, and it's made of glass. The whole thing it's a glass mansion, other than the walls inside. The exterior is entirely glass.
Guys,
it's like a waterfall off of the back porch.
I want to do business photo shoots for like
Yes!
do like different photo shoot sessions. You know, how you always need good like photos of yourself for your business. I want to do like beautiful. We could do beautiful photo shoots.
But we want to give back.
There's so much fun that we could have.
We want to try to give back because it's not going to be entirely out of your guys' pockets. We don't want to make any money off of this.
No, it wouldn't be a profit thing.
No, there would be no profit on our end. Any excess money, if there was money left over, we would probably donate it to charity. We don't want to make any money off of this. We want to make it a business thing for everybody.
And a vacation
for
thing.
as many people as we can. We can't do any more than like 5 to 10 couples because renting, we'd have to just get a campsite at that point. And that's no fun. We want to provide a fun experience to some people.
We'll keep you posted.
Anyway, back to questions so we can hammer them out for about another 10, 15 minutes. It's mostly people just super stoked on the idea.
I know. I feel the same way. I want to do it.
It would probably be between $500 to $1,000 per couple. Probably somewhere in that ballpark.
But for a couple, like, that's not bad at all.
No. And the thing is, we could, if you're a single person that wants to go or you have a spouse that doesn't want to go, you could team up with another alpha and split the cost. Buddy up. Yeah, that'd be fine too. I'd watch you guys play video games if you considered streaming like study work sessions for alpha. She's thought about it. I might start streaming here soon. I started playing Battlefield with a clan again here soon. You just got to get used to me saying the F word because I say it a lot.
Yeah, we played we played a couple games on our Twitch channel, and there were on average we had like 3 viewers, so we quit doing them.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Telegram?
I don't personally use it, so
I have no idea.
I don't really have any thoughts.
Samantha said, I hit 8,000 sales yesterday since joining aka. That's 5,000 sales in 2 years. I used to make 500 sales a year. I followed Friday Bean for 6 months and made 1,000 sales that year, so I joined HAA. I love it.
And Samantha primarily sells keychains. So that's like one of those things where people think that in order to make like to make it on Etsy, you have to like reinvent the wheel and create something that nobody's ever seen before. And that's not true. Samantha creates an amazing giftable product that people want to give. So very fun.
Can you request VAs that specifically do stuff like Tailwind to schedule the marketing stuff they made for you so you can follow it too? I'm new to hiring anyone, but I need this.
Yeah, you set the specifications when you're looking for a VA. You can absolutely set specifications, and you can say you must know how to use this platform, because you don't want to hire a VA who doesn't know as much as you do. Otherwise, you might as well just do it yourself. So
I think those study/work with me videos are called Pomodoro in Chinese regarding streaming live on Twitch.
The thing is, when I'm working on things, it's always really boring. I don't know why anybody would want to watch me working.
Isn't Pomodoro a kind of tomato sauce? Pretty sure that's a plain tomato sauce.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just being ignorant. That's me. Let's see. I'm just looking for questions. I need my projects funded badly. I just suck at knowing how to run Patreon. Could you do a video on how to manage it, Mark? I've never used Patreon.
He's only purchased.
I purchased from people on Patreon. I've never used it myself.
The thing is, I would love to set something like that up, but I don't know what I could provide to, because I would need to be able to actually use it for its intended purposes, and I don't know if I have anything I could provide, because I do everything for free on YouTube.
Let's see. Looking for questions. Sorry if I skipped your questions. We had a lot of random comments in here too. Wow, we had a lot of comments, man. My problem with Fair was that I got no repeat clients, so that huge new client cut took too much of my profit. So have your profit margins figured out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because they take a big chunk.
Any editing advice with Premiere Pro would be appreciated. I spent way too many hours trying to Google it for only a 60-second reel. Yeah, I'll probably do a quick basics thing, because the thing is, with Premiere Pro, when you Google things, you never get the direct answer that you're looking for. You're getting some random guy talking about something. It's very hard because almost all of the help is uploaded on YouTube, and that relies on them having put what your problem is in the YouTube title, and they never do. It's always like, fix your video with this easy trick, and then they never actually say what the trick is.
Lauren, if you're just trying to do it for Reels, use CapCut. Don't use Premiere Pro for Reels unless you need to like do some crazy green screening or something, you don't need to use. I've only used Premiere Pro for Reels because I'm a book influencer and I do. I got an advanced reader copy of a book and I had to like create this professional trailer for a book for the promo, and that's the only time I've ever used Premiere for Reels, is if I'm doing something that like is super duper important, high quality. You can totally just use CapCut.
Can you do this close to the Canadian border? Probably not. It'll probably be near a beach somewhere. It'll probably be either in Florida or California, somewhere like that. If you ever come to Europe, please let me know well in advance. We will be in Greece in October.
Maybe.
Maybe, if we can get our passports in time. We're going to work on that next week. My husband and I currently have the monkeypox. It sucks.
Oh no.
That must mean it's airborne, because the last I heard it was only through adult contact. Unless y'all are freaky. then I guess.
No, they updated it.
Did they?
Yeah, they first said that it was
an STI.
Yeah,
basically.
an STI, but I think that they recently updated it.
I think it's through any kind of contact,
yeah,
like any other STI, any kind of bodily fluid, or
that's like
somebody sneezes near you, that kind of thing.
That's like with COVID, when we all were like worried that like we couldn't bring our Amazon packages inside.
And then it turns out it only lives on surfaces for like a few seconds.
Yeah.
Do you think it will be open to HA students only, or will it be open to all your viewers?
The vacay?
I'm not sure yet. Probably all viewers, though.
Yeah, what we'll probably do is give HAA students like one extra day to sign up for it. Like they'll get like a pre like subscriber period where they can sign up for it. And we also are going to do like a runner up type thing where, as long as we set it up like way in advance, if somebody gets sick or they can't go, it would then be able to pass to the next person on the list. So we'll probably have like a waiting list of people who can sub in the event that somebody can't end up making it because they're sick.
Def Sauce in the name of the best little restaurant in New York City. I'll have to try it. Pomodoro is a time management technique named after the kitchen timers that look like tomatoes. So it is based off of the tomato sauce then.
Very interesting.
I have Premiere Pro and I'm terrified of it. Yeah, it just looks terrifying. It's not as bad as it looks, I promise.
Maybe next time I edit a YouTube video, I will stream myself editing the YouTube video. It's so boring. I have to listen to myself like over and over again saying the same things.
eRank surprised me yesterday with their new layout.
What?
New layout.
What?
Wait a minute.
Wait, what? We got a new layout? No, we didn't. We didn't get a new layout.
And if we did, then Anthony needs to talk to us more, because
what?
I did not know there was a new layout.
There was not. What? Why did? What?
Hold up.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Now we're like, what?
I'm not logged in anywhere. What account is it? No, we'll look at it later. We'll figure it out. Somebody said you'd have better luck at a hotel. You won't get many people at a mansion.
Are you sure about that?
Are you
because
sure
I
about
think
that?
The chat said otherwise.
No worries on that, because I know the thought is like staying in the same place with a bunch of people is kind of weird. We're going to maintain the right to kick weirdos out. So if you're a weirdo, don't sign up.
Yeah. It's
weirder than us, at least, because we're
gonna make sure that it's like safe, and we're gonna make sure that like the bedroom's all like lock.
And it's the thing about doing something like a hotel is you have to rent the hotel, and then we would need to get something like an event center or a room somewhere else, and it's multiple expenses. And we want this to be something that's more of a private business retreat and not just a seminar that you're staying at a hotel in. We don't want you to like pay to come to this thing and then have to pay to do a bunch of stuff on your own. We want it to be a location where like you can come there all inclusive. So you're staying at a private place on a lot of land with like a pool and like all that kind of stuff. Hiking. Yeah, we want it to be totally private, totally inclusive, and you not have to pay for anything else once you're there.
Absolutely.
We've done a lot of the details of this. It's just figuring out the little things and then executing on it. For Reels, I've been using TikTok's built-in editor and then screen recording the finished vid, so I have a copy of it to post on other socials.
Oh, that sounds so roundabout, Christina. Just use CapCut, because the videos, you can export them at 4K.
And then you don't have a watermark.
And they're so nice. Yeah, and yeah, I would definitely just use CapCut. That's so much easier. And I've got a tutorial on my channel. Okay.
I think we're getting to the end here. Erank looks the same to me.
Yeah.
It might be one particular tool that they might have changed the format to or something.
Yeah.
I felt like that with Photoshop. I'm trying to edit videos on my sickness and getting them out. I hate listening to myself when I get so shy. Yeah, she does the same thing. She hates listening to herself.
Oh God, yeah. I don't like my voice, but
How about a cruise? It's not private. We want it to be private.
Not to mention, I don't like water.
Yeah, screw the ocean.
Mark and I aren't afraid of a lot of things, but neither of us like I don't like the idea of the ocean. I don't like.
Yeah, I'm good. I use Premiere Elements, which works a treat for what I need. Yeah, Premiere Elements is good. Final Cut is another option. Premiere Elements is limited, but if you're just cutting stuff and overlaying things, it's a lot easier than having to pay a monthly subscription.
No, I want to be in a mansion if I'm on vacation. Big mansion. Big. I want to find like a mansion that like is so crazy that you'll post pictures from, and your friends and family will be like, where are you? What are you doing?
We want to, it's something that would be unobtainable for us or most of you on your own. And it's a one of a kind experience. That's what we want.
Exactly.
Because coaches offer stuff all the time where it's like, come out to New York and stay in a hotel and then talk to me for 10 minutes and then go off on your own and pay for all. We don't want that. We want this to be unique for you guys.
Yeah. We want it to be one of those things where you can literally hang out with us all freaking day if you want to, or if you're like, nah, I'm sick of Mark and Starla, you can go off in the woods and hike or go swimming or whatever.
If I'm staying in a place like that, I am sitting poolside or beachside with a beer all day. So just deal with that.
Mr. Moore's gonna be like,
you want to see my fat tummy?
He's gonna be sitting there with his shades, drinking a beer.
Let's see. Hotels are gross anyway. Airbnbs are more unique and fun. Who wants bed bugs and stale cigarette smell? Plus, hotels are super understaffed now. Yeah, that's another limitation that we can talk about more as we get closer to it. But smokers are probably going to be limited on this kind of thing because we're going to be staying in probably a house that's worth more than any of us can even comprehend.
Yeah.
So smoking is going to be an absolute no-no, including clothes. So if you're a smoker, it's going to be one of those things where you're probably going to have to leave the property, do what you got to do, come back, shower, change, and then you can sit on the furniture.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where you'll just have to. I mean, like vaping should be okay outside, but usually when you rent a place like this, they're very strict, and we got to make it so that Mark and I don't get sued.
Yeah, I don't want a $50,000 cleaning expense.
Yeah.
Cruises are awful for the environment. I am awful for the environment too, though. Let's see.
No
Please
cruises.
add affinity to your tech course. What is affinity?
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 Affinity? Affinity?
Affinity? Personal creation software. I'll take a look at it. I've never used it before, so I don't know.
5-star dining.
Yeah, I'll probably. That's the thing though. Is I was thinking about doing like little cooking classes and stuff. Like at the end of the day, maybe we have
optional.
Have a couple of drinks. Maybe I'll teach you how to make some cocktails, that kind of thing.
Ooh.
Just silly stuff. We'll do the important stuff during the day, and then you guys are free to do whatever at night.
Fun.
How many days? 3 to 5. We're not sure. We're gonna have so many complaints in the comments below. Like, oh my god, they talked about the money they're gonna spend for like 30 minutes.
We're not gonna profit.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna profit anything off of this. I can keep the green away from others. I'm very respectful with my medication. If that's what you do, you can always do edibles and stuff like that. We'll probably be in a state if we're going to like Florida or California.
Yeah, as long as we're in a state where you're not gonna get in trouble.
We don't judge. We don't care. Affinity's like the Adobe suites.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. You should investigate some of the mansions in Park City, Utah. They're incredible. Yeah, I've got one saved for Utah, but that's probably not going to be an alpha one. We want to do something more beachside.
How long would the trip be?
3 to 5 days. I've answered that twice.
Oh, sorry. 3 to 5.
Affinity is a great low-cost option of the Illustrator dupe, and Affinity Photo is a Photoshop dupe, $55. Affinity is not a subscription. Got it.
Cool.
Similar to Adobe, but more affordable. One-time purchase with free upgrades.
Cool.
Oh my god, that sounds fun. CT is now green-friendly. The whole country should be at this point. Big Sur would be cool. I get back to Cali. Okay, enough talking about the potential trip that's not even confirmed yet.
Alpha retreat.
Ghost hunting activity. No, thank you. I don't believe in ghosts.
That might be fun though, because we could all go ghost hunting, and Mark could go hide out in the woods somewhere and go, woo, and we could all like, we could do, you know, the ghost hunting like shows where they never actually find any ghosts, but they're all just like, what was that? What was that? What was that? What was that sound? Let's do that, and we'll record the whole thing, and we could release it on YouTube as the alphas go ghost hunting.
No.
I'm so... Here's the thing. I just keep thinking... I keep piling on more and more ideas. It's like... It just depends on who signs up, you know? It's like... It's one of those things where if everybody signs up and, you know, people aren't interested in certain activities, then we got to make sure that all the activities are optional. So we'll figure it out.
The only mandatory things will be the business seminar parts of it, because we do want to make this a business expense for you guys as well.
Yeah. That way you can write it off. We want to make this tax deductible.
Anything you do outside of the property will not be tax deductible, but we want to make sure the trip itself is. And we're going to talk to our tax accountant beforehand to make sure that it is. If you live outside the U.S. and you plan to do it, we can't promise anything for you. But as far as U.S. stuff goes, we should be able to get it tax deductible.
Yeah.
Or try our hardest to.
We're gonna talk to our accountant before we figure anything out.
That's why we're not making promises. That could be completely a lie at this point. It might just be a fun trip that you guys learn stuff at.
Yeah, we just got to see. We don't want to give you guys any false information.
No promises, no false information. We're not legal professionals. We're not tax professionals. But we are at the end of the video here. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up. What does it mean to write it off? You still have to pay money for it. To write it off, it would be a deductible expense. You don't live in the U.S. Maybe it's
Ginger,
different.
do you live in the U.S.?
She does not. No, I believe she's in the UK.
Are you in the UK?
Pretty sure she's in the UK.
Yeah, in the U.S., tax deductions, you can write off business expenses. So.
Necessary or reasonable expenses.
So we're going to hopefully see.
But, yeah, click the little bell icon if you want to get notified when we upload videos. And you, have the YouTube app. I'm burnt. I am so burnt out.
All right. I got to record a YouTube video today. So
Are you doing that today?
I have to.
She has to. You can technically do it tomorrow.